Greetings. It is I, Simon Quinlank, the original Duke of Hobby, here with another hobby to regale upon your ears if you currently are feeling that your hobby life is one hobby short. What you will need: some bourbon biscuits, a virulent record or cassette, a flask of weak lemon drink, and a lockable room. This hobby is called Old Man Collecting. First, find an old man.
You can drink your weak lemon drink while you're waiting for an old man, but don't let the lady in the cafe see you, or she will become enraged. I have seen an old man. Now, tempt the old man to your house. By any means necessary, excluding physical coercion, which is not allowed by the Old Man Collecting rules, which are the rules for Old Man Collecting, which are in my book, Old Man Collecting Rules by Simon Quinlank, which I wrote.
Excuse me, old man? Yes? Would you like a bourbon biscuit?
Answer me!
Yes, yes.
Come on, then. Come on.
If the bourbon biscuits don't work, a Vera Lynn record will make any old man dance gaily down the street after the enchanting sound, like rats. There are lots of ways to ensnare the old men.
Well, there you are, playmates. It's inevitable.
When you get your old man home, you can put him in your secure room with all the other old men in your old men collection. If you get two old men the same, you can always swap them with a friend. This old man is much better than the one I gave Alan, the fool. It is always sad when one of your old men dies, but this is nature's way, and we should remember the old men for the pleasure they have given us and not mourn them. Anyway, there are loads of other old men on the streets and nobody ever seems to notice or mind when they disappear. Amen. That's my hobby for today, and I'll be back soon with another hobby. It might be better than Old Man Collecting, or it might not be as good. It doesn't matter. As long as it's a hobby, that's all that's important. Bye. Hello. If you have seen me before, then I will need no introduction, as you will recognize my face. If, however, this is the first time you have seen me, then I must tell you now that I am called Simon Quinlank, and the thing I shall be telling you about is a hobby you might like to try. What you will need for this week's hobby: lots of thin white paper, some charcoal or crayons, a guide to country churches, a flask of weak lemon drink, and at least one hand. If you like going to country churches and rubbing things, then this is the hobby for you. This week's hobby is called arse rubbing. Here's how you do this week's hobby. First, find a church, and then go to the vicarage. You can drink your weak lemon drink now, or you can save it until later. When the vicar answers the door, talk to him for a while about God and architecture. Hello, Vicar. I like God and architecture. Do you? Then say this sentence with your mouth. That's very interesting, Reverend. Would you be interested in letting me take a charcoal or crayon rubbing of your arse? Answer me!
Delighted.
Remove the vicar's trousers and underpants, if he has them. Place the paper over his arse and then rub the edge of the charcoal or crayon against the vicar's arse. And then, hey presto, a perfect charcoal or crayon representation of the arse of the vicar in charcoal or crayon has appeared on the sheet in charcoal or crayon. I have used charcoal, but crayon is much better because it is in colour. After the rubbing, I label the rubbing with the date, church, name and cleanliness of the vicar. If you are a Muslim or a Hindu or a Jew, why not make an arse rubbing of whatever the blokes who run your religion are called? And remember, grabbing and stripping a vicar and making an impression of his arse against his will is against the law and is punishable by a £10 fine. Be careful. Although vicars may appear to be friendly with strong moral and religious convictions, almost half of them are evil and perverted. So, if they ask you to rub of anything other than their arse, politely decline and then call the police. That's my hobby. I like it a lot. And I think it's better than brass rubbing because brass rubbings are the same every time you rub them. Whilst, over a period of years, a vicar's arse will change in subtle ways that are almost imperceptible to the human eye, but which will become apparent when you look at the rubbing or rubbings. Plus, if you are gay or a woman, it's a good way to get a look at loads of blokes' arses really easy. Touch them. I am not gay, though. Or a woman. Bye.
Fun.
My name is Simon Quinlank, and I am angry. Stuart Leach from Glasgow has written to me after seeing me on my televisual appearances to claim that Simon Quinlank is just a jumped-up stamp collector. It's not true.
It is not!
For me, hobbies are only a way of filling up time, and they are not my entire life. Don't get me wrong. Hobbies aren't trivial. Hobbies are very, very, very important indeed. What you will need for today's hobby: a pen, a list of all the rolling stock in Great Britain today, a blindfold or some eyelids, a flask of weak lemon drink, a train spotter. The sad idiot. Listen, Alan, do you like train spotting?
Yes, it is a good hobby.
So, what if you are quite a cool, together person with a life like me and are not boring, which I am not, but still have a keen interest in trains and cataloguing their numbers in a book? Well then, this is the hobby for you. This hobby is called train ignoring. Go to a railway siding with your train spotter and wait! You might like to drink your weak lemon drink at this point, or you could save it until later. Alan, would you like to drink a weak lemon drink? Answer me!
My throat is slightly dry. I'd love some.
I bet you would. Oh, and when you hear a train approaching, close your eyes and put on a blindfold so that you cannot see it. Oh, a train. How interesting. I expect you love that train, don't you, Alan?
Yes! This train is a good train. Some of the carriages of the train are fairly rare.
Oh dear. When you are sure that the train has passed, take off the blindfold, open up your eyes again, and hey presto, you've just ignored your first train. Of course, you will need the train spotter to tell you which train and rolling stock you have ignored so that you can check the names off your list. Which carriages were they, Alan? Which ones? Answer me. Answer me! This hobby is that you have to do it with a train spotter, who's obviously much duller than you, so it also raises your self-esteem and status. Also, when there are no trains around, you can bully your train spotter. Right, Alan?
Ow! You're giving me a Chinese burn!
See, I am gay!
Ow! I am gay!
So, Stuart Leach from Glasgow. My hobbies are much more imaginative than anything you could ever think up. I am interesting. You are wrong. I am the hobby king. Look upon my wonders and despair.
It is I, Simon Quinlank, the Duke of all hobbies and Prince of most pastimes. And I am here with an idea of how to fill your time when you have finished doing your hobbies for the day and yet wish to avoid sitting around alone thinking how worthless your life is and being plagued by the disembodied heads of women that float around in your brain. What you will need: a stopwatch, a notebook and pencil, a flask of weak lemon drink, and nothing else. This hobby is called seeing how long you can go without doing a hobby. Or encountering the bodiless head women. To do this hobby, you must sit upon a chair and start your stopwatch. Then empty your head of all thoughts of hobbies, pastimes, etc. Continue doing this until such time as you find yourself smashing an egg, or collecting an old man, or doing another one of your hobbies. Or when the shouting women in your brain start shouting. Oh, damn! I have done the rubbing of a vicar's arse.
Bless you, my son.
I must stop the clock. 28 seconds. Note down how long you went without doing a hobby in your non-hobby book. Then make a table of the top 10 times. Remember, you must not drink your weak lemon drink, but keep it between your legs without thinking about it. Drinking weak lemon drink constitutes taking part in a hobby. You may feel a strange sense of excitement from denying yourself the weak lemon drink, but don't worry, it doesn't mean you're dirty or strange or anything. Enjoy your hobby, or non-hobbies, and smite the slack shouting women in your brains by any means necessary!
This.
Hello, my name is Simon Quinlank, and this is my hobby spot, where I suggest the kind of hobby which anyone looking for a hobby might find to be an interesting hobby. What you will need for this week's hobby: a telephone, a clock, a tape recorder and/or pen and paper, a flask of weak lemon drink, and a voice. This hobby is a good hobby for anyone who likes collecting things and has a keen interest in facts and figures, especially if this interest is primarily about leaves and more specifically their size. This hobby is also a good hobby for anyone who doesn't like to ever leave the house ever. This week's hobby is called ringing Norris McWhirter at 3 o'clock in the morning and asking him what the biggest leaf is. What you need to do: first, find out the phone number of Norris McWhirter, star of Record Breakers and keen anti-freedom campaigner. Then wait until 3 a.m. You can drink your weak lemon drink now, or you can save it until later.
5, 4,
Bees.
3,
The tiny
2,
shoes.
1.
Leave me alone. At 3 a.m. exactly, ring the number. Remember to ask the permission of whoever pays the phone bill, or to do it secretly without telling them. It's ringing. When Norris McWhirter replies, say this sentence with your mouth. Hello, Norris McWhirter, what is the biggest leaf? Answer me! Then make a written or in taped message of Norris McWhirter's response. Do this 400 or 500 times, and you will have an archive of 3 a.m. biggest leaf inquiry Norris McWhirter responses, which you can show or play to your friends or to interested members of the public. My favourite one is, leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Why are you doing this? Why? To do this hobby, you must ring Norris McWhirter at 3 o'clock in the morning exactly, and then ask him what the biggest leaf is. No other combination is acceptable. Bye. If you have seen me before, then I will need no introduction, as you will recognise my face. If, however, this is the first time you have seen me, then I must tell you now that my name is Simon Quinlank, and the thing that I will be telling you about is a hobby you might like to try. What you will need for this week's hobby: a pair of hiking boots, a floor, or hard surface, a flask of weak lemon drink, and access to some eggs. This hobby is a hobby which you can do anywhere and thus will take you to a variety of locations. The hobby is called egg smashing. If you are a beginner to the hobby of egg smashing, then why not go to a shop or supermarket? Ask the assistant where the eggs are. Excuse me, assistant, where are the eggs? Answer me! Nope. When you will buy the eggs, take one of the eggs out of one of the cartons and then throw it onto the floor. Now I've smashed your first egg.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Oi, get back here!
Once you have smashed eggs in the supermarkets and the streets a few times, you may begin to feel frustrated. It might seem that how many eggs you smash, still more spring up to take their place, like those skeletons in Jason and the Argonauts.
So, you might like to specialise in a particular kind of egg. If you chose the egg of a rare bird or lizard, there's a good chance that you might be able to smash all those eggs of that kind that exist, thus eradicating those eggs for always. I am tracking down the eggs of the noble golden eagle. You can drink your weak lemon drink now while you're waiting for the mother bird to fly, or you can wait until later. Smash the eggs! Smash the dirty, disgusting eggs! Smash them! Smash the eggs! Remember, there are many different kinds of eggs you can smash. Chocolate eggs, fish eggs, and/or frog spawn, or bejeweled Fabergé eggs. Now, if you start to find these kind of eggs tedious, and when you're sure that you are sufficiently adept and experienced at egg smashing, then why not try smashing human eggs? These are readily available by breaking into a fertility clinic under the cloak of that and breaking open the egg fridge where the eggs are frozen for future use and experimentation. And then smash the eggs to bits. Enjoy your hobby, whatever it is, but smash those whorish eggs!